Welcome to Van Lathan's The Red Pill, where we give you the brutal reality of truth. Today's guest, Sheree Zampino. She is a wife, a mother, a business owner, and a part of the thruple, as Jada Pinkett says. She is Will Smith's first wife, the mother of Trey Smith. And we had a really interesting conversation, me and Sheree did, about how they are making it work. You see an you see an unconventional sort of family in Jada Pinkett Smith, Will Smith, Trey, Jaden, Willow, and they seem to be doing this at a level that a lot of other families can't. Everyone seems to be full of love for one another. Everyone seems to be full of encouragement for one another. And a lot of the pain from the divorce that she had with Will, and a lot of the pain that some other families go through seems to be non-existent in their current incarnation. And it's a very, very important lesson for people that might have seen relationships dissolve, how to kind of get that together. She is really an incredible lady. Her life journey, despite any celebrity that she's in proximity to, is very, very impressive. And we had a lot of fun. And we had something happen for the first time on the Red Pill. I gotta say this, I experienced for the first time a hot flash. Like, I saw a hot flash happen on the Red Pill podcast. Like, this beautiful lady just started sweating. She had a hot flash. I didn't know what to do. It was great. But we talk about that. We talk about Jada's whole thrupling thing, saying that they're in the thruple, what it's like to be in that type of proximity to that type of superstardom, and just her life, her happiness, who she's dating, who she's seeing, and where she sees her life going, and what it's like to be a mother in a blended family. So I was very, very impressed with Sheree. And I think that you will be too. Pop some pills, let's get into it. You are the first person I've ever met from Schenectady.
Are you serious? Yeah. You never met Pat Riley?
No, I haven't. Pat Riley's from Schenectady?
He is.
Do you know other famous people that are from Schenectady?
I do not.
That's the only one?
Yes. So that's how I would give it some validity. I would say Pat Riley.
Have you met Pat Riley before?
I think I have. I hate to, I feel like I have.
You feel like you have?
I feel like I have, but I might have, because I have met a lot of people.
I was about to say, this is a little bit of a flex, because like, if you ask me, if I know if I met Pat Riley, I ain't never met him. Like, greatest coach, Lakers history, I never met him, but you can't be sure. You might have met him.
I might have met him.
That's crazy.
I know.
White people clap for Sheree Zampino, please.
Thank you, guys.
Let me tell you something. You're not white, Crystal. You feel rude not clapping. You're not white, though. But it's important for me to just make the white people clap in this situation. You're not white. But you know what? Crystal, by the way, is Mexican. And I love the fact that you standing up for your heritage and you're not trying to be with the rest of these white folks. You feel what I'm saying? Like, I'm not white, but I'll clap anyway, Crystal. It lets me know you down. Cesar Chavez and all of that shit. So
that's funny. Hey, man.
Hey, how are you? We've been trying to connect for a little while.
I know you've been busy. You've been traveling the world. And
you've been busy.
Too busy for me.
You all over the place, man.
I am?
Yeah. It's sometimes you get a podcast and you nail it down, but you're not just willy-nilly. You have specific days, like, we can do this whole thing that you can get out here.
Well, I'm a working woman, you know what I mean? So
what's life like for you right now?
Gosh, busy. It's busy, but busy in a good way. I have a boutique.
Let's talk about that.
Yeah, let me talk about that. It started off as an obligation. I was married to a pastor, and we had a women's tea, and I promoted the tea by saying, we're going to have a lady come and bring her things, so it's going to be shopping, and that fell through. So I'm like, oh, shoot, the ladies are all hyped about shopping. I said, I know how to do this, because I started a business years ago, like fashion and clothing, because I went to school, FIT, for fashion. And so I kind of took matters in my own hands. And this was maybe about 13, 14 years ago, and it's become a full-fledged business.
Wow.
Me. So I do a lot of pop-ups, a lot of, private client, invite only to the house. And then I also have the ShereeElizabeth.com online, which is good.
So
It keeps me real busy.
that is
Yeah.
super interesting to me. So like something that sprung from, because I always wonder, because I know people that have always wanted to do certain things and
Yeah.
open businesses and stuff like that, but you actually saw kind of like a hole in the market or something where you could jump in and it's been successful for you.
Well, yeah, it was just a fulfillment of a promise. I just wanted, to keep the integrity of what I promoted and sold to our members, to our ladies, and they were excited about the shopping aspect of it. But when the vendor that we were going to have fell through, I said, I can't disappoint them, so let me just make it happen. So I went downtown, got a couple little things, and they were so happy.
Wow.
And I was like, I could do this. This is like a little business here.
It's worked out.
Yes.
What is it like? What was it like being the wife of a pastor? Cryptic laugh. Look, everyone's like, wow. What was it like being the wife of a pastor?
You know what? It was interesting. When I met him and fell in love with him, he was a football player. He was not a pastor.
Fletcher.
So I was hoodwinked.
Right. All right.
Yes. No, he was. Yeah, he was playing with the San Diego Chargers, and we were both. We were both in ministry in our churches serving, but it wasn't like. I didn't know he wanted to be a pastor.
Right.
And I don't think he knew he wanted to be a pastor. I don't think it's something that you want to do. I think it's a call that you respond to and you answer. So he answered the call.
Right.
Yeah.
So you completely didn't answer the question. What was it like? What was it like being married to a pastor?
It was challenging. It was
How
very
so?
challenging. Well, the challenge was, and then at the time that we got married, during the time we were married, I also was on a reality series.
Hollywood Exes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that
Who was on Hollywood Exes with you? It was you,
it was Nicole Murphy.
Nicole Murphy. Shout out to Nicole.
Yes.
Another person that's going to come sit down with us. We had Bria Murphy on the show.
She's awesome.
Yeah, so Nicole Murphy. Who else? It was
Maite,
Maite. Yes.
Jessica Canseco,
Wow.
and then we had Shamika Lawrence
Shamika Lawrence, I'm not familiar
and
with.
Andrea Kelly.
Okay.
Shamika was married to Martin.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Okay. So Hollywood Exes. And so at that time that was the reality show in any way a strain?
On the relationship?
Yeah.
I have a new name now. It's Zampino. Yes.
Right.
I'm no longer the pastor's wife.
Right.
Yes, it did. I don't want to say that the show was the reason why the marriage didn't work. The show didn't help, but it was challenging because what happens is you want to honor the responsibility of being a pastor's wife and being a first lady of a church. More so the first lady than the pastor's wife. And what does that look like? How do you honor that responsibility and also remain true to yourself?
Right.
How do you do that? And how do you do a reality show successfully? So it was challenging.
No, I get it. Like I
was
knew
challenging.
I grew up with some kids whose parents were in the ministry, and it
Were they
was
buck wild?
some of them were. It's like some of them were,
Yes.
and then some of them were constantly fighting it. You know what I mean?
So
Constantly.
how can you fight it? It just is what it is.
Yeah, but what they were just they were constantly fighting. They wanted to, and it wasn't even be all about like being buck wild or being out there.
Yeah.
Sometimes we just wanted to do little mischievous shit, and they just felt like they would be letting. It's one thing for you to do something and you feel like you're gonna let your parents down, but when you feel like you're gonna let down like 350 people.
That's tough.
Who are they're gonna bring you up to, and you're gonna have to testify in front of all of these people about why you missed curfew. It's a lot of pressure for kids, and I would imagine it would be kind of the same thing.
It is. It is a lot of pressure because people really have extraordinarily unrealistic expectations of you.
Yeah.
I'm really no different than anybody else. I just have a position that puts a little more responsibility on me, and I'm okay with that.
Sure.
But I'm still going to fall short. I'm still going to miss the mark. So when I do, it can't be like,
Right.
and that was heavy. Doing that, first of all, being married to a pastor, being a first lady, and also the head of the women's ministry, and then being on a reality TV show was a lot.
Do you find now that you're a little bit more centered? Or have you found yourself a little bit more? Was it something that you feel like wasn't? It was hard to be yourself? Are you being yourself more now?
No, I don't think it was hard to be myself. That might have been the problem.
It was hard for them with you being
Yes.
yourself. I see.
Yes, that was the problem. Yeah. Because, too, when you think about it, and it made sense to me, the church, I'm called to the church as, a helpmeet, basically.
Yeah.
I'm not called to the church as a girlfriend. So when you watch the show, you see me as a sister, as a friend,
Yeah.
and that's not,
Right.
I'm not a girlfriend to the church.
Right.
That's not. So you see me in an element and you see me in a space that's hard to receive.
Yeah.
Like people in position, there are certain things we don't want to see them do.
Right.
But they do them behind closed doors with
Right.
their friends.
Sure.
But, when you're in the public on a show, you happen to, it's like a fly on a wall, and you see stuff that you were really never meant to see.
I'm going to ask you a question about
Yes.
a guest we just had, Afion Crockett. He was talking about the church.
Yeah.
And he said that he feels like the church sometimes makes people, I'm just going to ask you this question just because we're
Yeah.
on the subject, makes people kind of put up a facade that they can't live up to. That a lot of times it's actually not the best place to meet God because nobody in there is being real. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, people do wear masks, but people wear masks in every facet of life.
Yeah.
So it's not just the church, but I do understand the expectations that. Especially, I think when you're new in Christ and you don't really understand that people are just, for the most part, doing the best
Trying.
that they can do.
Yeah.
But I also think as a more seasoned Christian, if you're the more spiritual you are, I think the more responsibility you have. I don't ever want to be a stumbling block for somebody.
Right.
I want to be conscious of the people that are behind me, so to speak. And when I say behind me, I don't mean less than or lower than. It's a horizontal walk, and there are people in front of you and there are people behind you. And I think we have a responsibility, all of us, to reach back.
Right.
I
get it.
Yeah,
I
so
get
it's
it.
just responsibility.
You know what used to bother me
What?
about new Christians when I was
Oh,
growing up in
Lord.
Louisiana?
Now, did you have to go to church?
Yeah.
You made to go, did you go to like Bible study?
So I went to
prayer
all the
meeting?
studies. So
Oh,
like
Lord.
it was a couple of different churches because my mom is always seeking new spiritual information. My dad,
What does that
Catholic.
mean,
Boom.
though?
Meaning my mom, if you come to my mom and you say, come to the Allen Chapel AME Church, she gonna go with you. If you come to
Okay.
my mom and you say, come to Jimmy Swaggers, she gonna go with you.
Right.
You tell my mom, wherever they worshiping and speaking
She's
in tongues,
gonna go.
my mama gonna go. But you would meet a lot of new Christians. And when you're around a new Christian, especially if they've been through something,
Yeah.
they become obsessed with the end of the world. This was the thing.
What?
They said, like,
Talk
listen,
about getting to heaven?
the first time somebody reads Revelations,
Lord.
they start coming to you and telling you, I'll never forget, I had an older cousin that we couldn't even play Super Mario Brothers without him saying,
You shut
you
up.
see what's happening over there in the Middle East right now? You know what that means? Get
End of
ready.
the world.
Jesus
Yeah,
gonna
Jesus
come.
coming.
I'm like,
Yeah.
I just want to play the video game,
That's
dog.
it. Just let
I don't
me-
want to think about the end of the world right now. I'm
Yeah.
13.
Too heavy. It's too
Relax.
heavy. It's too
but
heavy.
a lot of people they're obsessed sort of with those aspects of Christianity and like when they first get into it
Yeah.
because it hasn't really become a part of their every single day life.
Yeah.
They don't just like walk and talk to God and stuff like that.
Yeah, and that's at the end of the day, that's really what it is. It's
Yeah.
about a relationship, and it's about what you do here. And there's that old saying that says you can't be so spiritually bound that you're no earthly good. You know.
John, look, John's over there yawning. John over there yawning. John, you bored with Christ.
Yawning?
Boy, that lake of
Oh,
fire gonna feel
Lord.
so good to you.
You better hope Jesus don't come
That
today.
lake of fire gonna feel good to you. My dad used to say that, the lake of fire. So you know what? My mother, speaking of my parents, my mother is like obsessed with you.
Why?
My mother thinks that you are
And bless her heart.
a walking angel.
Oh God.
And I'll tell you why, because of the relationship you've managed to have with, of course, if you guys don't know, I don't like to, it's so weird. Sheree was married to Will Smith.
Yes.
Okay? She was married.
Many moons ago.
Many moons ago, she was married to Will Smith, and now is functioning as, I don't even know how to describe it.
Don't say trouble.
Well, look, she said trouble. I don't even know what that was. I didn't even know it was a thing.
Yeah.
But like you guys are so functional.
Yeah.
Between you and Trey and Jada, and like it was Jaden's birthday
Yesterday, yes.
and you Hayes from Riri, and like
I love him so much. Yes.
that's my mom and my dad are divorced, and she can't imagine that. How do you first of all do you realize that the kind of functionality that you guys have is an example, something to so many people? Does that ever like dawn on you that many people look at that as such an optimal situation?
It's people have been very, very vocal about it. So yes, and I'm flattered and honored by that. Right. I'm honored that we can, be that kind of example of just, loving the kids and making it work, because it's not easy.
Sure.
It's not easy. But my mom was the example for me. Because my mom had, her and my dad had two children. And then my dad moved on and had another child. And that child was always, now she couldn't stand my dad.
Right.
There were times when she couldn't stand his behind. But my brother was always welcome into the home. And I think for her, because I didn't meet my biological grandfather. This is my dad's father, because my dad's Italian and my mom is Black. Okay. And because we were half Black, he didn't want anything to do with us. So I didn't meet him until I was 16 years old. Yeah. I mean, I met him prior to, I wasn't acknowledged until I was about 16 years old. So I think that just hurt her and gave her a respect for children. She's like, these children don't ask to be born. They're here, and to take out your stuff on them is so not fair. Right. So I had that example. So when those kids came along, it didn't matter for me. I didn't care what we were going through, Will and I, Jada and I. It didn't matter. It was about Trey having the best that he could have, the best relationship with everyone, and the other kids, and how do we facilitate that? We had our chance. It didn't work. Right. Now let's shift and do what's best for these kids. Yeah. We were able to do that.
But listen, like it almost, because so many people, right? Yeah. I've been in so many, I'm from Southern Louisiana. I've heard so many times, and this is bad, don't bring that baby in this house.
See, that's crazy.
I've heard it so many times. That's William's other boy. And you sitting there like,
Now that's different. Now if William is okay. Now if I was still married to Will, and Jaden, came.
Oh, so that would be different.
Well, that would be harder.
Right. It would be.
Let me say that it would be harder.
It was the result of some infidelity.
Yes. Now, I'd like to think that I'm the type of person that could look beyond that, but I don't know, because I've never been in that situation.
Right.
So that's a little more difficult. We're divorced, and then the kids come. So it's a whole different ballgame. Yeah.
The throuple thing.
Oh God. Now, first of all, it's hard enough making it work with one person. Okay? I haven't managed to do that.
Right.
I have about 5 last names. So
what so the Red Table Talk was just a fantastic show. Jada Pinkett Smith said that she's in a throuple, a non-sexual.
Clarify that.
She said, because a throuple is something, she said it's a non-sexual throuple, basically with you and Will.
Yeah.
When you heard that, you thought?
Well, I heard it because I hadn't seen the show, and people were texting me, and I'm like, oh my Lord.
They thought you throupled up.
The Red Table be talking too damn much. What? Okay, let me watch the Red Table and see what's happening. And I understood what she was doing. I think what she was really trying to be gracious and relate to her, her guests on the show. And what she was just saying is the relationship, because we have co-parented. Right. Never have we ever lived together. Will took care of Trey, which, in turn takes care of me, because you can't really separate the two. But all that stopped in 2011. Right. So if we're in trouble, we need to renegotiate these terms. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying.
Right. So you haven't seen the throuple contract lately.
Is it throuple or truple?
I don't know. I'd only seen it. Is it truple
or throuple?
We don't even know what it is.
I know. Yeah.
It's throuple.
Throuple.
Wow, you said it the Mexican way,
throuple.
Crystal. You said it. You rolled the tongue. You said it you heard that? It's a throuple. What is it?
That's
you
funny.
didn't say that. But I mean, obviously, it doesn't seem like, it seems like it's incredibly healthy.
What, a thruple?
Well, yeah, this particular thruple.
Oh, well, please don't. I don't even know what that means.
Right.
So I do not. I guess it's, I did a tiny bit of research, and it really means it's a sexual thing. So you can't have a non-sexual thruple. That's like having a flat hill.
Right.
Like it can't exist.
Right. But you accept the emotion.
The non-sexual emotions. The non-sexual emotion. Yes, right. Just the love, because I have so much love and respect for Jada, because the only thing, my only requirement from her is that she treated my son well. And she has gone above and beyond. So I have nothing but love and respect for her. And gratitude, and lots of gratitude, yeah.
Interesting. Yeah. It's almost like we watched Trey grow up, man.
I know.
Because like the first time, like when Will got back into rap, he had some very prominent hits. And with the Just the Two of Us remake, the thing I used to love about that song is that there was a whole phase where my dad would hear a song playing and he would think it was the song from his youth, but it would really be my song, right? My dad would hear Juicy and he would come in the room like, oh, and then he would hear Biggie rap and he'd be like, man, what the hell is this?
Yes.
And it would happen all the time with Just the Two of Us. But like when we saw that, I can't remember in hip hop, I'm sure that it's happened and the hip hop head's gonna go crazy. I can remember in hip hop, a man, not to say that the guys in hip hop didn't love their children, black men love their children, don't believe what you hear. That's but right. a guy making a song to his son and being that sort of like in depth about their relationship and even you guys' relationship, because there was a bar in there about you. You know what I mean?
What was the bar? Things didn't work out between
me
you
and your mom.
Me and your mom.
But push comes to shove, because you sound like you don't like that.
No, I do.
Right.
But you know what? My mind went somewhere else, because he made another song. That was a good song.
What was the other song?
No, we're not going to even go there, man.
I don't remember the other song.
If you ain't done your homework, I'm not.
I don't remember. Okay, I don't remember listen, I don't remember the other song. I really don't.
But that was it was very sweet and loving, and people loved that song. And he was such a baby. I think he was like 6 at the time.
Just dancing around
big
in the
old
video.
ears. I'm glad he grew into them little ears. But yeah, it looked just like his dad, and just it's and the relationship has really come full circle, and he's been very verbal. Will has been very verbal about. I guess he put out a video. I think maybe about 2-3 months ago or something.
I haven't always had the best relationship with my dad, and me and my dad, it was an incredibly moving video.
Yeah.
It was like, man, I'm because you never know.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But like, it was a really, really moving video. And then even to see Trey talk about the way he feels about Will right now.
It's just beautiful. And I mean, it was a lot of hard work on both ends to get to that place, being a product of divorce. And then when, a parent moves on, gets remarried, has more children, you struggle to figure out what's my role in this new dynamic? Where do I fit? And I think he's found that place, in his he's secure in his heart that he has a place in his father's heart.
Oh man, that's amazing.
And
does celebrity make that whole thing tougher, you think? Like new mom is not just some lady that you don't know, she's Jada Pinkett from Different World and from all of these
make
things.
It harder for who? For me?
For everyone. Does make it harder? Did you feel like it made it harder for Trey? Did it make it harder for you ever?
I think it made it harder for Trey in the latter years.
Okay.
Because there were some very unflattering memes and different things. Now, honestly, to this day, I don't know if he's seen some of these things. I won't repeat them.
Sure.
I wouldn't ask him, hey, did you see XYZ? I wouldn't do that. But there's been some pretty harsh stuff, making a comparison. Sure. And, Trey decided it's funny because he did the video with his dad. Then he was doing some special correspondent work with, I think wasn't Extra. What's the other one?
Access Hollywood?
Access Hollywood.
Right.
And he was killing it, doing his little red carpet stuff. And then he was like, I don't want to do this anymore. He's like, I wanna focus on school. I want to focus on football, and he became a star athlete.
I remember that.
Yeah.
I remember it was a whole deal when he was all of this when he was in high school because he was playing with like Joe Montana's kid or something like that.
Yep,
They were
Nick
all
Montana,
Gretzky. It was
Wayne
Oaks
Gretzky's
Christian
son.
or
Oaks
Wesley
Christian.
Oaks Christian. Yeah.
Yep.
So I remember that I remember that entire wave. So like he kind of found himself in that a little bit.
Yeah, he just decided. But you know, it that kind of kicked in later. It was the funniest thing because I switched schools. He was in Sierra Canyon for a long time, and I really sensed that he's trying to evolve and grow, and sometimes it's hard to do that in the same environment because people have expectations of you because they knew you when. So as soon as we transplanted him and put him in Oaks, it's like it was night and day.
Right.
He just kind of came into his own. He became athletic. We're like, where the heck did that come from?
Yeah.
We didn't put him in the school because he was athletic.
Right. He was playing receiver, right?
He was playing wide. Well, he was quarterback.
Oh, okay.
He was quarterback, then he was wide receiver. Yeah.
What was that
He
like
ended
watching
up.
him play football?
Amazing.
You
I
loved
loved
it.
it. I would make cookies. Homemade
Total
cookies.
sports mom.
It was awesome. So we'd all be there, the family, wherever Will was, he'd fly in from China, wherever. So all the family would be there. And he loved it because it was his family and his community rallying behind him and supporting him. And something that only he did.
Right.
Nobody else in the family did that.
Right.
So he was kind of a trailblazer in that sense.
So my father was like my superhero, right? And he was just like kind of a big deal on our street. How do you deal with Will Smith being your dad?
That is something you'd have to ask Trey because he's not my daddy. I have no clue.
All right, let's pay some bills right now. Excuse my voice. I'm a little under the weather, but it's not going to stop you from getting this great information from Audio Mac. If you're listening to this right now, then that means this podcast is now available on Audio Mac. Audio Mac is the free music and podcast streaming app that lets you stream and download the hottest albums, mixtapes, songs, playlists, and podcasts, along with Audio Mac exclusives. Discover the best new songs by browsing the trending page. Check out the library of carefully curated playlists. There's one for every mood. And take your favorite songs and podcasts offline to save your data and listen wherever you are. Audio Mac is here to move music forward. Available now on the App Store and Google Play. Well, what is a bonus mom? What is that?
A bonus is...
Because I saw you said from your bonus mom.
Well, I don't know who coined that term. I didn't. I can't take credit for that. I think Jada might have made that up, actually.
Y'all changing the family dynamic.
Well, no, you know what it was? It was bonus son at first. Instead of, because we never referred to the kids using step.
Wow.
Or half.
Right.
Because there wouldn't be step, but half.
Yeah, it'd be half, yeah.
We never, and I remember one time Trey was,
That's not a black thing, by the way.
What, half?
My dad has a son, he's my
and
brother.
You just say brother. Oh, wow.
I don't think that doesn't, the only time I've ever heard half brother is from the Johns, the pale faces, the Caucasians. If somebody, you got the same mama, that's your brother.
That's
you got the same daddy, that's your brother.
Interesting.
Really, to be honest with you, I know a family to where, my homeboy, Gino, and Anthony, when I met Anthony...
They're Italian, right? Gino and Anthony?
No, they're black. They're not. They're black. They're black. When I met Gino and Anthony, Anthony is, and I hope they don't mind me saying this, but Anthony is Gino's... Okay, so Gino's mom is married to Mr. James. Mr. James
had... You're going to have to draw me a diagram.
Mr. James had another son when he met Gino's mother.
Okay.
That son is Anthony, right? When I first met Anthony, Gino goes, yo, that's my brother.
How far apart are they?
They 2 or 3 years.
Okay.
But he goes, or maybe even 1 year, but he goes, that's my brother.
Yeah,
and the whole time I thought they shared parents. They really don't share any parents. They're just in the same family.
Oh.
And so
that's love.
That's love. And really, Anthony is as much Gino's brother
as Jeremy or Michael
love
is.
it. And it ain't really nobody's business.
Not really.
They
You know
call,
what I mean?
know what I'm saying? Like they can, if they feel that brotherly love, then that's what it is.
Yeah.
Then that's what it is.
And when I first said something about it, Gino kind of checked me a little bit.
What'd he say?
I was like, oh, so he's not really your brother. Nah, I said he was my brother, nigga. I'm like, God damn, Gino. My brother.
Gino was serious. He's serious about his family ties. I love it.
It is.
I love it.
So like when you say
A bonus is like a special edition, basically.
right, is there parenting involved? Like if you had some wisdom to impart on Willow or Jaden, would you do that?
Oh gosh, yes.
Wow.
Yes.
Now see, that's not black.
Yes.
Like, cause that's not that's not black. Cause like that would be. I don't think that like the families that I know, that like it would be cool to hang out at Thanksgiving. But if you got something to say to my child, you better say it.
No. We can now. There's a respect factor.
Sure.
You know, you definitely have to respect boundaries. But yeah, like if I saw, you know, Jaden doing something and Jaden was a really good kid for the most part.
Seems like he's one of my personal heroes.
He's like,
I like it seriously. Like I look at those kids. Really, all of the like the whole family. I'm just like, how can I build this for myself? It's like nothing that y'all do will surprise me.
You want to be a bonus son?
I want to be a bonus son, damn it. This is what I've been like. Nothing that y'all do will surprise me. If I saw an Instagram video tomorrow of you guys all get on a spaceship and y'all go, we're going to the moon for the rest of the summer. We're just going to be up here communing with space and stuff like that. Nothing, it just seems so loving.
I love it, yeah.
But obviously, in order for that to happen, like work has to take place.
Yeah.
How do you do the work to get to the point to where you need to be able to love everyone? How do you do that?
You take responsibility. You know, it's never about what anybody else does. At the end of the day, it's your stuff, and you have to make things make sense, and you have to deal with the bullshit.
Right.
And what you've bought into, the lies that you brought into. And sometimes it means moving people out of your life, you know, because the situation has to be healthy. I don't have, for example, when Jada would come and we do little parties and stuff, this is in the beginning.
Right.
Now, I wasn't all that thrilled.
Not at first.
No, not at first.
But you were trying, though.
Yes, I was trying. And I was trying not for my sake, but I was trying for my son's sake, you know. And this is what it is. And, you know, now we have a blended family and Will is remarried. But my friends were never allowed to talk about her in a negative way. Look at her. And she thinks we don't do that. Oh, we don't do that.
That is insanely important.
Yeah, we don't do that.
Because they'll reinforce, if there is something inside of you that's feeling a certain way, the group that you're around, they'll make that.
They'll feed that.
They'll feed that.
And that's what will grow.
Wow.
So you have to get that out of the way. But this is what you have to do. I had to take ownership of that. This is my family now. This is my family. And and I didn't even really look at it as my family. I looked at it as my extended family. This is Trey's family.
Right.
And this has to be done so that he's healthy. Remember when he was little, he had just met Jada. And I knew he was going to meet her because Will told me. So he comes home and he's like 3 years old. And his heart is so pure. He's 3. His heart is so pure. You don't want to put your stuff on them. It's not fair because he's going to have enough of his own stuff.
Sure.
And yes. So he says to me, so I just said, you know, how did you have a good weekend? He's like, yes. I said, how did you like Miss Jada? Because that's how they introduced her as Miss Jada.
Right.
He said, Mommy, I really like her. He said, I want to buy her a gift. Say what? We want to do what now? What we want to do? We want to do what? He's seen me give people, you know, because I'm giving.
Right,
we're giving.
generous,
we do.
yeah.
So he's thinking, you know, when you care about somebody, that's what you do. And I was like, oh, I'm not ready for this. I said, okay. And I'm thinking, I ain't buying her nothing. but I got a lot of good stuff upstairs and I can regift.
Right.
I'm going to regift something. And
wow.
I did. I regifted like a candle or something. I just didn't have it in me to go Now, if I didn't have new things, you know what I mean, I would have had you. But thank God
if it wasn't
I had.
something up there, like because you live in a great life, you don't even remember if you met Pat Riley or not. But so if there wasn't just
That's
stuff
what I'm saying.
in
I would
boxes
have
up
had
there,
to do
you
something.
would have had to
99
do
cent store something.
Something.
I'd have had to do something.
All right.
But I bought a card.
Mm-hmm.
And the card was from me. The gift was from him. And the card said...
You bitch.
Simply. The card said... That was in invisible ink, though. Yeah. But the card said, thank you for making a great impression on my son.
Oh, man.
And the next time he went there, he took that. But it was funny because my grandmother, who's a very loving woman, but I'm East Coast, so they keeps it real.
Yeah.
So my grandma was like, we not... I said... Granny, when she heard Trey say, I want to buy her, I guess she tried to maybe rescue me. Maybe she saw the look on my face. But I had to stop her because what we're not going to do is put that confusion on him.
All right.
His heart is pure.
Yeah, just a little man.
And what do I want from this woman? I want her to treat my son well. You ain't got to like me. You don't have to, we don't have to have, you have to be respectful to me for his sake. But I want her to be good to him. And if she's doing that, we have no issues.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yes.
That's amazing.
So,
was for the men that you've been with or that you dated after you were with afterward, was there ever an issue that he became such a big star?
Now it's funny. I knew what was happening. Like there's no way to know Will and I always say like I was married to the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. I wasn't married to Will Smith.
Interesting.
I mean, because that's really where he was in his career. Yeah. But yet he was doing the movie, so everybody knew where he was going. Yeah. It's not a surprise. You don't look up and you're like, oh my God, I never would have thought.
What's so funny about that is it's so funny that like so. I'm in elementary school and Will Smith pops into your life, right?
Yeah.
It's like, and you're like, look at this guy. This guy's great. This guy's like, you see this song? The parents don't get it. That's some dope ass shit. Like this. I'm like 8, and then all of a sudden, he goes on to the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. It's like, look, there's that guy again. This guy's good. He's still good. And then Bad Boys comes, and you like, yo, this nigga Will Smith is a fucking badass. And then there was never a point where you weren't just like in love, like where you just didn't think that he was going to be successful. Exactly. It just seemed like it was destiny.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It was just you saw it.
Even after Wild Wild West, you were like, okay.
Yeah.
That one wasn't, you know what I'm saying? But it still was Will, though.
But.
You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
So that whole thing happening, I'm sorry to cut you off, I just like that, just what you said was so true.
Yeah.
So you always saw that.
Oh, of course.
So for you,
of course.
For some of the guys you saw, you felt like that you might have been with, it was different for them.
Yeah, I mean that could be. I didn't realize at the time, but until I started to date. But I guess that could be intimidating, and sometimes men want to feel like they're the greatest thing ever, and
sometimes. What? I think we all the male ego.
Still be, and that's what I'm like. Nothing, but in their mind, in the ego, the male ego, somebody else can do maybe something for you that they can't, and that rubs them the wrong way. But the good thing, it weeds out the ones.
The weaklings.
Yes.
It weeds out. I didn't think about that. It weeds out the guys that can't really handle it. Now, Now, the fact that you've been around, you're so accomplished, and like you've been around so many famous, like you said, the Pat Riley thing. Does it ever bring guys that you feel like are trying to be with you for the wrong reasons? Of
course.
How do you deal with that? Because you're a very beautiful, intelligent. You're a catch.
Thank you.
So like how do you know when some guy is not in it for the right reasons?
I think you just have to. You just have to listen. You just have to listen. And I've learned to ask a lot of questions. I don't think I asked enough questions before. I really didn't have a lot of men in my life. That really wasn't an issue. I had a lot of women in my life for the wrong reasons.
Wow.
Yeah, the connections and trying to get But usually I didn't date those guys that were trying to, get to me, to get to them, hand me a mixtape. Can you pass it?
Can you pass this, man?
Yeah.
And if you don't, if
I
the
got a
mixtape,
script.
I'm about to say, if the mixtape, if you don't like that, I got a dope ass buddy comedy that maybe,
God.
you know what I'm saying, he might be able to get with. In LA,
Yes.
the city is so full of users, you would think that would be the thing.
No, and I did not with the men I dated. I really didn't. I didn't have that issue. Thank God.
What about your own self-identity? What about being in the middle of all of this stuff? How did...
I'm not in the middle of that.
What? I'm just
I don't
saying.
feel I'm in the middle of that.
There was
No.
never a time where, where you felt that maybe people would identify you with him or with even your ex-husband?
It's funny. It's the opposite. Like the picture that I posted yesterday. I don't know if you saw it.
I did.
Because you said it was me, Trey, and Jaden. Well, Will's actually in that picture.
You cropped
His
him
father.
out.
I cropped his butt out.
You cropped out
I got to show you
Will
the picture.
Smith?
I clean cropped him out.
It's not about him at that point.
It's not about him, and I didn't want to, he didn't,
Yeah.
that was a picture that I saw the three of them. They were sitting together, and I'm like, I got to get this picture.
Right.
So I took a picture of all them, and then I hopped in it and took a little selfie.
If I was ever in a picture with Will Smith, I'd crop myself out.
You're silly.
Get right out of the picture. But so
Yeah,
you're saying,
I cropped him out.
you cropped him out.
Yes, because it's the opposite. It's like, I don't... That's a part of my history that I can't unchange. We have
Right.
a child together, and sometimes, it's hard for people to see that. Like, oh my God, you're, and sometimes you just don't want to hear it.
Yeah, I get
You
it.
just don't want to hear it. And, people can say what they want to say. But I think you can, I know some women, I'm not going to say any names, but that are divorced from, celebrity exes, celebrity husbands, and they're trying to find their own identity, and they're clinging.
Right.
And that's a process, but you got to be patient with their process, because you go from being that family dynamic, and that really is a part of your identity.
Right.
And now it's not anymore. And some of it wasn't their choice, know, and it's like, wow, now what do you do? How do you move on? How do you, like I said, really just kind of establish yourself,
Right.
and, be okay
How have you
with
done that?
who. I think that was always I've always had a very independent spirit. So what was very difficult for me is to be with the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. I can't even imagine being with Will Smith. I have so much compassion. I can't even imagine being in that. But I'm like, well, wait a second. The hardest thing for me was people weren't dealing with me as a real person anymore. It wasn't real, because they wanted something, or they wanted to be down, or they wanted to be, so everybody became a yes man and a yes woman, and there was no real interactions anymore. And I was like, this is so
whack.
fake, and it's a facade, and I can't function in this.
Right.
I can't function like this. I didn't grow up that way. Everybody in my family is very, very real. Nobody's straight shooters. So that was very hard, and I felt like I was getting lost in that. And I'm like, I can't do this.
Yeah, I get that.
I can't. This is not the life. This is not the life for me. I can't be married to anybody. Now, maybe now on this side of things, but back then I didn't have it. I didn't have it to give. Yeah.
Are you dating now?
Yeah.
It's one particular guy?
One particular guy I like.
You like?
I really like.
You like him?
And he's a new guy. I just met him.
Wow.
Yeah. Wow. Like, I just met him, and I like him.
New guy. I love to hear this. New guy.
He's a new guy, and he's got that gangster that I like.
What?
I like a little gangster.
You like a little
I
gangster?
love a little gangster.
Yo, how the fuck was you with Will Smith, man? That's the other side of the game.
Don't know. Will is gangster.
Get the fuck out of here.
Are you kidding me?
Hey, John, now you awake. Like, you saying...
When I say Will, let me tell you something. Will is running the show. I don't care what it looks like that's who Will is. Will don't play.
Right.
But he's got that friendly, and that persona, and he's very, very likable and non-threatening. But Will is not soft by any stretch of the imagination.
A lot of people think that Will is soft.
That's very funny.
I don't think that Will is soft.
That's
I would
very
never, I don't
funny.
think that Will is soft, but that
No.
used to be the knock. It was
Okay.
like but not at all. That's a misconception.
He's winning.
Oh,
That's
he's
all I'm
definitely
gonna
winning.
say. Is
So-
he's winning.
Right. So the
Yeah.
guy that you're seeing now,
Yeah. So he's got that strength
that strength that you're looking
and
for.
that intelligence. 'Cause
Okay.
It has to be a balance. You can't have, you know what I mean? You can't have one. I've had the intelligence, but you know.
No backbone.
No, then now it's like I got the reins again. I
Yeah.
don't want to drive the car no more. I just don't want to do it.
Right.
You know, and it's like the strong will survive, and I'm a strong woman, so I don't want that.
Do they come in your DMs a lot? The guys?
No, I don't get a lot of, and I don't respond to. It's so funny because I had a couple people in today, and I was like, nah.
Why not?
Nah.
Why not?
No, that's too much work. You know what?
The DM is the
It's
new
too-
way.
no,
That
not
the
for
DM
me.
slide.
I'm old school.
So
I can't do it. If you want to meet me, do not come in my DM.
That's not
I
the way.
won't take you seriously.
why? What
Because
turns
it's
off?
whack. It's just whack to me. It's whack. It's just whack. And what my mind says is, are you doing this to? How many other people have you done this to?
Ah,
You know,
I
there's
see.
there's no real connection. You don't really know me. We haven't vibed. And I mean, I know that it's probably a physical attraction, and that's usually enough to get people talking.
Sure.
But I just don't know what the intent is. If I don't have a connection, if I don't have a breadcrumb trail to somebody that maybe the two of us know,
Oh.
yeah, it's too much of a crapshoot.
How'd you meet the new guy? Like, where'd you meet him?
I met him at a party.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Turning up.
Now, why you got to put my business
I'm
in
saying
this
you were
thing,
turning
though?
up. Like you at a party. Hopefully, if y'all was at a party, y'all were turning up.
Look, do you see I'm getting flushed? Do
A
you
little
see
bit,
that?
yeah. You like this
I
guy,
like him.
man.
I do. You know what? I like him. And what it is I think I like the idea of the possibility.
I got you.
Because that's really all it is right now. It's the idea of a possibility.
Hmm.
And man, I'm going to need a something because, you know, I'm in that season of life.
Oh, could we
Yeah, I
give
need
like
a fan on the set.
Yeah. Oh, you can. Oh, there you go.
Thank you.
Yeah.
This is good. This is good, you guys.
Right.
This is good. Okay.
By the way, this happens all the time. That's called the hot seat that you're
This
in.
is
We got the lights right
Is
there.
that what it is?
Yeah, man. I'm used to it. I just come back from Anguilla. I'm all like dark. But really, let me tell you something. Let me just what happened to Sheree. She was fine until we got to talking about this guy.
I got a
Look at John. Look at like as soon as we start talking about look this actually I didn't know this was a real thing. We get to talk about this guy. He got muscles, huh?
No, he could have more muscles.
Are you,
He could have more muscles.
I'm sorry. I messed the tee up.
No,
I
he
love this
could-
woman.
He could have more muscles.
What do you look
The
for?
body is not as hard as I like the body.
You
to
like
be.
the hard body situation.
I like the hard. I'm a little shallow in that. Yeah,
Okay.
I like the
No,
hard
it's not
body.
shallow. It's not
I
shallow.
like the hard body.
So
Yeah.
some women like the hard
Yeah.
body. Some women like the teddy bear. You don't like the teddy bear.
No, I don't want the hippity hop. But I did try the hippity hop.
You tried it.
And it wasn't as bad as I thought.
It wasn't as bad as you
But
thought.
no, but that's not God's best for my life.
So with God, it seems like you're very.
I'm like, but it's my, I'm in that season of life, man.
What season of life
I'm
are
a
we talking?
mature woman.
Oh,
Yes.
the flashes.
And I'm having the hot flashes.
the hot.
This is a full-blown hot flash.
So what happens when you have a hot
you
flash?
get hot.
And it just comes
The
and goes.
inside out. So I could be buck naked sitting on a block of ice
And
and
it
I'd
just-
still be sweating.
Like,
It's on the inside.
Can I
I'm
ask you a
just-
question?
Yeah.
Like,
It's
that
frustrating.
being a woman shit
Yeah.
is just a lot.
Oh, it's a lot.
Why? Why? Like being like
That
like
damn
listen.
Eve, that
Listen,
damn Eve.
listen. I'm a dude, and I'm a guy, and this week I'm gonna be the same. Next week I'm gonna be the same. Next week I'm gonna be the same. I'm
It's
gonna be the
tough.
same.
It's tough.
But y'all
No,
are
we
gonna
go through
have
stuff.
right.
We have baby. We go through it.
Is it worth it?
Yes.
You love being a woman.
I love being a woman. I
Hmm.
do.
Why is it so hard for men to understand that women love being women?
Well, I think because we're just too deep for you.
It is true. Y'all are complex though.
We're deep.
Mm.
We're deeper emotionally.
Mm-hmm.
We feel things at a higher frequency. I think that women absolutely run the world.
You do.
I do.
How do women run the world?
I think women run the world.
How?
I think, well, think about women as you can't even be here.
I'm not saying they don't. I just want to know.
You wouldn't even be here if it wasn't for a woman.
Well, it's very true.
You have to come through us.
True, but don't you need a man for that too, though?
Again, you got to come through us.
It's true.
But yes, I mean, it takes both. But I think women, when I'm on vacation, a lot of times I would observe. And I would see watch women, when the next time you go on vacation, women are running things. They're telling the men what to do. They run the household. They really hold it down. I think most women hold it down and give men the space to be.
What you are saying is
Does it make sense?
1,000% true.
Yes.
Because what happens is, to me at least, what I observed growing up, is that my father, for whatever reason, ended up being good at one thing.
Which was providing?
Which was providing.
Yeah.
Providing, and I would say part of providing for him was protecting, right?
Yes.
That was and everything else. First of all, my mother could do that too.
That's what I'm saying.
She could provide and protect too, but she could also do so many other things.
Yes.
I mean, when I say so many other things, I mean like it would be so weird. I would be in like you need a costume.
She gonna make one.
It's Halloween.
She's gonna make one.
Oh, okay. Well, let's figure this out. You got a math problem. I don't know how to do the math. Boy, bring me the tablet over here. Let's do the math. Like whatever
Yes.
you needed. My mother was like a Swiss Army knife.
Yes.
Being that that's the case,
Absolutely.
why do you think it's so easy for us to take women for granted? Why do men take women for granted when women bring so much to our lives? Why do we take them for granted?
Because I don't think you truly appreciate us. And I don't even know if you have the capacity to.
It's impossible for men to truly.
I don't want to say that. I said, but I don't even know if you have the full capacity to really appreciate what women bring to the table. I haven't always appreciated us.
Really?
The older I get, the more I realize, like, wow, we're pretty phenomenal creatures. Yeah, because when you've been hurt by women and growing up, all that, and I was like, I made a decision.
You were hurt by
at
women?
about 13. Yeah, just the cattiness, the dumb cattiness. So I made a decision at 13. All my friends are going to be male.
Interesting.
And I had all male friends for the most part, some women sprinkled in there. But I truly love and adore and need my female friends, because women really need other women, not in a throuple kind of way.
But just in a way to affirm and reassure and be cool with one another.
And to just really absolutely and have that support from somebody that understands and gets it.
Yeah.
And our expectations have to be realistic. I think now I'm going to be awkward in this because this is a really new revelation of mine.
Okay.
Yes, but I think women, we make men way too important. I find myself every time I'm with my girls, that's what we talk about. Men. That's the bulk of the conversation is about, men and finding love and being in love. And it's like, why does it have to be? You know what I mean? Why are we making that so important?
I'm glad you brought this up. I'll tell you why.
Tell me.
I have a theory.
What's the theory?
I think women need more hobbies. And I and I'll be honest with you. I'll tell you why. So when I leave here, I'm gonna get a call from one of my homies, right? Mm-hmm. Me and him gonna talk about basketball.
Yes.
I'm gonna get a call from my other homie. We're gonna talk about politics. I'm gonna get a call from my other homie. We're gonna talk about comic books. We're gonna talk about all of these other things that we're into. Nah, I got women that I talk to and stuff like that. But
no, I'm saying about women. So the conversation is not going to be about women at all?
Never.
Wow, that's deep.
Now, like when I say never, when we was in our 20s, conversation was about women, but it was very crude, and
I got it.
But there's really zero talk just about women. Like, dog, man, I really need to find that special somebody, bro. It's like I feel like I feel my eggs is not really being used. Like, no, like, or whatever. Like, really. Now, if one of your homies, as for men, if you see one of your homies going through it with his girl, as a friend, you jump in there a little bit and you pry it out.
Yeah.
Man, share your feelings with me, bro. I know we need to talk about this. But a lot of times, and when I say women need to have more hobbies, I don't mean it as aggressive and disrespectful as it sounds. I just feel like sometimes, especially sisters, life is such a big world.
Yes.
There's so many things to enjoy. There's so many things that you can give your time and your energy to besides these niggas. And like,
agreed.
I'm not trying to pander. I'm just saying, yo, man, like even with moms, I was like, moms, my mom does a lot of stuff, man. I'm glad to see you out there writing books and taking a goddamn painting class and all of that.
Good for her.
Yeah, that's great.
Good for her.
Because invest into yourselves a
She's
little
learning
bit
to
more.
love herself. And really, that's what it is. It's really loving yourself first and really appreciating your worth and appreciating our worth. But doesn't society kind of put that on us that we should be married?
1,000,000%.
That's what I'm saying. That's
1,000%.
on women, and that's a part of women feel like unless they have that family unit, they're not whole or they're not as valuable as they could be. Or they're incomplete. But that's a facade.
That's bullshit.
That's the bullshit I was talking about.
It's bullshit.
Yes.
You can have a completely fulfilled, and I'll tell you something else. The United States of America, this society, will begin to catch up to a lot of the rest of the world. I'm not talking about defense spending and all that stuff. I'm talking about having a functioning society when we empower women more.
Boom. That's it.
When women are more empowered, things will start to run smoother. I'm telling you, in all different facets. I'm talking about in the financial, there are hardly any women in finance, like all of these different places and leadership capacities where other countries are leaning into women, to the voices of ladies. We're not doing that here. And that's because we're still trying to train our women too much, I think.
And women are being devalued and have not really taken their rightful place.
But men gotta have some muscles, though.
Men gotta have some muscles.
Gotta have some muscles.
Gotta have a little muscle.
Little muscle.
Little thuggish, little thuggish, ruggish.
Little thuggish.
Little thuggish, ruggish. But you gotta be intelligent, though.
A thuggish, until a thug.
Now, see, Van, I think you're the complete man.
You think so?
I think so.
Listen, I'll be honest.
You're bringing a lot to the table.
I'm bringing some stuff to the table.
Bringing a lot to the
table. But what I will say is I could use a little bit more thug. I'll be honest with you. I'll tell you why. Like,
now, what does that look like?
For me,
how do we know when your whole thug or that portion of thug that needs to come forth is kicked in? How would we be able to?
So here's my deal. Like,
because we want to help you.
Ain't nobody gonna fuck over me. Let's get it. Let's look like y'all done seen that. I don't get fucked over. Ain't nobody gonna fuck over me.
That's what I'm.
That's like ain't nobody gonna fuck. That's not gonna happen. But I went to see Avengers Endgame. And I cried like 5 times, and it's a comic book movie. I cried, Sheree, I'll be honest with you.
I didn't see the movie.
I cried when Captain America had the hammer. When Captain America, I'm about to cry right now. When I'm serious. When Captain America goes, Avengers, assemble.
Look at the tears.
Cried again. When all of the guys, when Falcon said to Cap, on your left, and I knew that the rest of the guys are coming, cried.
That's beautiful, though.
I don't know. But
why did you? Because I didn't see the movie, so I have no.
They're laughing.
Okay.
They laughed at me. Tony Stark died. I cried again. Spider-Man cried again. Anyway.
But what is that tapping into?
What's happening to me is that I've been reading about these fucking characters since I was like 7 years old, and there they are on the screen. And I feel like a child, and I'm elated to be alive. I feel so happy that they made the fucking movie. And I was a nerd, and it wasn't cool, and now the whole world is enjoying it. And Cap had the fucking hammer. That's what happened. And so when I'm in that moment, and I'm in the theater, and people are looking at me like,
Van,
this
I think
big ass nigga is really crying.
I think that's beautiful.
You do?
It's gratitude.
Thuggish?
Yeah, I wouldn't. I'm not gonna. I'm trying to.
That was fucking hilarious. That was hilarious. What's next for you?
Oh God! Well, I've been doing some TV stuff, so maybe a little more.
What
maybe a little
kind of
more
TV
that.
stuff have you
Well,
missing?
I was on BET, the games people play.
I saw that.
Yeah, I did.
My friend is on that show, by the way.
Who's your friend?
2 friends. I got
Which
2 friends
one?
on that show.
Who?
Sarunas.
I love him.
Insanely talented brother.
So amazing.
And Jackie.
I knew you were gonna say those two.
I mean,
do.
everybody know Jackie.
And love Jackie.
Everybody.
I didn't know Jackie until I started doing, and that's what some people are like. You don't know Jackie? I'm like,
Everybody know Jackie.
I didn't know Jackie.
There's like,
I didn't know.
and like me and Jackie just met. My dude Franz, shout out to Franz. We were all together one time, and Jackie introduces himself to me. I'm like, nigga, I know who you are, bro. Let's go to Ace of Diamonds. But what was that like?
So fun. And I got to work with Jackie, got to work with Saranis and
Parker?
Lauren. Yeah.
Lauren, beautiful
and
soul.
Parker. I couldn't believe when I figured out who she was.
Yeah, let's not talk about it because I don't feel right.
It was like, what?
I don't like. Listen. That was a baby.
That was
a little
a baby.
And
What on earth?
And I can't. That thing. I like that was a baby. I watched her grow up. I'm not gonna do it.
Yeah,
so she's beautiful.
Yeah,
that's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah, that messed me up.
So
I
some
can
more
only
TV
imagine.
stuff you're saying.
So hopefully, I'll pursue that. That just kind of was a blessing that just came out of seemingly nowhere. I wasn't expecting that. I got a text from Robbie Reed just saying, "Hey, there's a role I think you'd be perfect for. Come and audition." I did and got it. So I did 3 of the 10, and hopefully there's more of that. Now I'll be more intentional about pursuing it.
I got a pitch for you.
What? Give it to me.
I got a pitch.
Give
for
it
you.
to me. Give it to me.
Perfect time for you to make your big screen. Have you been in a big screen movie before? Have you been on?
Never.
Never been in a movie?
Never.
I got the perfect movie.
Tell me.
Throuple.
You know what? I'm gonna throw this tea on you.
Throuple. This is the movie.
I'm gonna throw this tea on you. Now I read you're a screenwriter. Is that true?
I am a screenwriter.
So we gonna write this thing?
I would love to. By the way, it's you. We cast 2 other people. We maybe we come up. We let Overbrook make it help us. We're gonna take the help we can get. You feel what I'm saying? But no, it's Throuple because you guys already kind of did this with the UPN show.
With the who?
Didn't you guys have the show? Dwayne Martin, shout out Dwayne. All of us.
All of us.
But Throuple is different.
Throuple is different.
Let me tell you what happens in Throuple.
Oh Lord.
Are you ready?
Can the kids see it?
No. Okay. So the Throuple movie it's a Throuple like you guys have a Throuple because you are deep in the middle of a Throuple right now.
Now I rebuke that in the name of Jesus.
But it ends up becoming like
a what? You so nasty.
That other
I need you to come on back. I need the van I started the show with. I need to end the show with that guy.
We're gonna end the show right now, but we're gonna figure out this screenplay for Throuple. There's a movie there.
There's a movie there.
Starring you. John, you don't need to be writing.
On it.
John, you gotta
on it.
We gotta work on your soul, dog. We started talking about Jesus and you was yawning in here. We started talking about Throuples, your eyes is big, but Jesus, you yawning. A lake of fire.
Don't sleep on Jesus.
All right. So more acting.
Yes, more acting. More. There's some talks to maybe do reality again. I don't know.
Which, if you like, any specific show, I definitely can't talk about that.
I can't really. Yeah, because it's in the works. But I don't know about that. I gotta really.
Pros and cons of it, real quick.
I don't know if I like being in the. I don't know if I like my life being that visible.
Mm-hmm. Right.
You know, when you're acting, you're acting.
Right. It's not even you.
Yeah, it's not you. But yeah, like I don't know if I want. I did that once, and that might be enough.
Okay.
So we'll see.
White people clap for 2 things. 1, clap for Throuple coming to theaters 2024. All right, starring. This was gonna be in Throuple. I'm gonna cast it real quick before we go. So Sheree,
I'm the lead role.
You're the lead.
So when the screen comes up, my name is first.
Boom.
Okay, there it is.
Sheree Zampino.
Sheree Zampino.
Zampino
Sheree
and
Zampino.
Dash, whoever this dude
Maybe
is.
I just want to be Sheree.
Just Sheree.
Just Sheree.
Oh, I love that. Shout out to Jack.
Yeah, I don't need another last
okay,
name.
so
Just Sheree.
Sheree is gonna be you.
Yeah.
Taraji P. Henson. You, Taraji P. Henson, and the third part of the Throuple.
Who is the man?
Who's the male lead?
Can we get Idris? What's wrong with that?
Hey, well, let's get Idris then. Let's just you gonna get him on the phone right there. It's just you, Taraji, and Idris.
There
Throuple.
it is. I'm in.
Throuple. You're in.
You get Idris. Listen.
He got muscles.
He really does.
You like him. Man, let's get the hell out of here before she get in trouble. Give it up for Sheree Zampino, y'all. That was fun. 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 That was fun.